Hello again. You said you needed some help with Langdon number one. So let's look at it. It says for Langdon number one, in the first month on the police force, Jackie made 60 arrests, 45 of which were uneventful and easy. Using this as a representative sample, what is the 95% confidence interval for the percentage of uneventful and easy arrests Jackie could expect for the next 40 years on the police force? So we have a sample, it's known, so we know that this is past. And you said you knew that this was binomial distribution, and that's correct. It's binomial distribution for proportions because it asked about uh, percentage of uneventful and easy arrests. So percentages are proportions or ratios. And so what I suggest doing when you know what table you're or what test you're going to be using is find it in the tables. So in the field guide, you're going to go to page 405, and it has everything that you need to know there. If you have it written on a note card, you can easily look at that. So basically, this field guide, you could have written all of that information on a note card that would make it rather easy. But it tells us that, um, just to make sure that we're doing this correctly, it tells us that we need to have an n that's greater than 30. We need to have n divided by n be less than 0.1. Um, and it tells us about the interval. It tells us that this is nominal, such as 3 dogs to 2 cats. And then it tells us on this page the variables you need to know. So it says that n is the sample size, right? And that G is the number of good, and N is the size of the population, capital N. All right. So, um, a couple of things you need to know in the formulas. You do need to know the Z, which when it said the 95 percent confidence factor, the Z for that is 1.96. Yeah, 1.96 for that. So that's the 95% confidence. Oops. And that number you're going to use quite often. That's the most widely used confidence ratio that you're going to look at. So, or confidence level. So you should probably have that one memorized. You're going to use that one the most, but if not, it's here in the chart on page 405. Then, so let's fill. Well, actually, before we fill these in, um, we're we're not going to actually use this one. So we will need, however, our adjusted n, which is n plus z squared divided by 2. I'm sorry, my z's and 2's look the same. Please know that this one's a z and the others are 2's. G is, what's the word? Adjusted. Adjusted G is G plus Z squared. And then your P is going to be your N, G divided by N. And then your adjusted P is the adjusted G divided by the adjusted N. We'll stick with that for a minute and let's fill in this information that we have. So our sample size, when we read that problem, let's see, our sample size was we had 60 pieces of information. So that's 60 n equals 60. The number of good was 45. It's not good to have bad outcomes, right? We're looking for how many uneventful or easy outcomes she experiences. So 45 is the G. So to find the adjusted N, you would simply do 45 plus 1.95, sorry, 1.96 squared divided by 2. And when you plug that into your calculator, you're going to get, where did I put that? 46.9208. Okay. Then for G, we have 45 here. So 45 plus Z squared, 45 plus 1.96 squared. And that comes out to 63.8416. And then P is just G divided by N, and our G was 45. So 45 divided by our N, which was 60, comes out to be 0.75. And then adjusted G divided by adjusted N is going to be 46.9208 divided by 63.8416. And that will equal, where did I put it? This is a longer number. 0.73. It's a point there. Up 63. No, 73495. 65174. Now, I think that if you have the answer key, it goes one decimal place further than what my calculator does. My calculator only goes to 4 here. I think the answer key has 38 in it. All right, so we have our P 0.75 and our adjusted P. So now that we have that information, what we can do is look at the actual formula that we have. And our formula that again can be found on page 405 is going to be P to find out the 95% confidence level is P, the adjusted P plus or minus Z square root of P1 minus P divided by N. All right, there you go. So now all we have to do is fill in this information here. And I want you to go ahead and fill it in with the entire decimal, don't round. Well, actually, let's round to 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So if we round to 4 decimal places, our 5 is going to tell us that the 9 will become a 0 and the 4 will become a 5. So let's round to approximately 0.735. All right, that'll make this just a little bit easier. Well, easier to control, to write out on the screen here and not run out of space anyways. 1.96 divided by, now when you enter this into your calculator, you're going to need to make sure you use the appropriate parentheses in order for it to work correctly. So after you have the radical here, you're going to need to go ahead and put some parentheses. Let's show you in a different color here. You're going to need some parentheses here to indicate the numerator of the division. And then you also were, on some calculators, would need some parentheses to indicate everything that's going to be under the radical. So we're going to start off by putting 2 parentheses in front here. Okay, so when you plug this into your calculator, you're going to have parentheses, parentheses, and then you're going to put your adjusted P, which is 0.735. And then you're going to go your parentheses again, so we're right here, and then 1 minus 0.735. And then that's the first close parentheses, and then we need this blue one too, so that's a double close parentheses, divided by our adjusted N, which is 46 0.9208. And then you're going to need to close that off because it connects this one to this one, right? We've got a connection here to here, and then these two are connected as well. So you can see all of our parentheses are closed. This outer one is for under the radical. This second one is for what's in the numerator, and this inner one is what's a part of our formula, okay? So when you plug that into your calculator, you're going to plug it in. I usually do it first with the minus sign, and when you plug it in with the minus sign, your answer is going to be 0.6267395,086. And then in my calculator, I'm able to go back and edit my formula. So all I have to do is, instead of putting in the minus sign, I delete that and then put in a plus sign. And so when I do that, I get 0.8432606,914. Okay, so we need percentages, right? So percentages mean we're going to move this decimal place 2 places. So this is going to end up being 62 point, and let's round to 1 decimal place. So it's going to be 0.7 because our 7 is going to tell our 6 to round up. And this one's going to be what? 84.3. So the 95% confidence level is between 62.7% and 84.3%. Let me make sure we got that right in this answer key. The 95% confidence interval is the interval from 62.7% to 84.3%. All right, so we got it. Good. I hope that that helps you understand, and have a good day.